Welcome one and all, ladies and gentlemen, to another Pokemon Showdown replay. I am your host, the handsome DrChris, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Landorus Eye Suspect and knowing when to make predictions when it's not necessary to, and when you can just play safe or else making predictions might throw you the match. So I'm just going to start by playing this video. This is actually a battle that I had on the Landorus Eye Suspect ladder just a couple minutes ago. I lead Starmie expecting to lead Garchomp, but I don't want to get Pursuit Trapped by his Weavile, so I'm just going to go for the Hydro Pump. But in hindsight, I could have just Ice Beamed because seldom do they even carry it anymore. And then I Psychic, expecting like Azu, but nice Analytic Psychic would have been good on that. But instead he Dragon Tails, really wanting to sack his Garchomp. I don't know why. Because I still have a Bisharp and it kind of shits on him otherwise. And then he crits me. But pretty much my thoughts on the Landorus Eye Suspect are that I don't care either way. You know, there are not switch-ins to it, you know, which is one side of the argument, but then the other side is that, like, hey, like, it has a lot of checks. You know, you can check it fairly easily, but the real problem is that, like, pretty much whenever it gets a safe switch-in is that it does get a kill. And, you know, if it gets banned, awesome, but if it doesn't, I don't care either. You know, if it stays in OU, I'm perfectly okay with that. But if it does go to Ubers, then you know, awesome, sure, like whatever. I don't really use that Pokemon anyway. I think it's kind of, I don't want to say it's hard to fit on a team, but or at least my playstyle rather. It's just there's not room for it on really any of my teams, and when I do, it's just detrimental to synergy, and I prefer not to use it. And he shows here that he doesn't have Toxic. I don't know what kind of Garchomp this is then. He does want to save it as Death Fodder though, because it could be helpful for him later. And do I just Earthquake? Yeah, I thought he would Dragon Tail, so I mean, might as well try and kill it instead of having to go through the pain of maybe going into Heatran or Dragonite, and you know. Now I almost Earthquaked again, expecting him to go into Heatran on my Bisharp because it was really obvious, but instead he goes into Azumarill, which isn't a big deal because I have Venusaur. And it was at this point I thought I lost anyway. Like he didn't need to make any predictions, and he does double into Reuniclus, which I mean, it works out nicely for him, and I'm just going to Death Fodder my Hippo because switching into Bisharp is incredibly obvious. So he's probably just going to go for Focus Blast, so I'm not going to risk that by switching into my Bisharp. Reuniclus is a pretty large problem. Yeah, I do have Bisharp to Revenge Kill it for the most part, though, so it's fine. And now I know he's going to switch out into his Garchomp, and I do that. And so I Sucker Punch, so I don't have to take Helmet and Rough Skin damage, and that way I don't reveal that I am not Life Orb to him. Him going into Weavile here shows that he obviously has Low Kick, and I know that he's going to expect me to go into Venusaur, be able to live the Low Kick, and then recover off anything else he wants to do. So I thought he might try and double into something to take advantage of my... Wait, what did I do? No, actually, I think what I actually was doing was just Death Foddering my Dragonite, because it wouldn't be that helpful against his team, seeing as he has Azumarill, he has Weavile, he has Latias, a bunch of shit that can take me out pretty easily. And now I know that he knows I have Heatran and Bisharp, so I'm just gonna stay in, and turns out he does expect me to go into my Heatran, so which is why I stay in and go for Roost here. And I know I'll be able to 2-hit KO this Azumarill by going for Earthquake, so I'm just going to. And in this battle, he just makes a lot of really unnecessary plays. I'm gonna Roost up, see if that was some sort of max damage, and it was. I get a little more health back this way. Does he go into Reuniclus this turn? Yeah, he goes into Reuniclus, which, I mean, it's not horrible for me. I can still go for Roost here, and then I'll be able to Dragon Tail him out the next turn, I believe. Unless do I Roost again? I don't know. I think I might Roost again here, to be honest with you. I think he might want to switch out or something like that. No, I do just go for Dragon Tail. And I will be able to switch back in on Rocks, which will be fairly important, because that means I might be able to, I'm not going to be able to live an Aqua Jet, but I'll be able to Roost up on his Heatran if it's not, if it doesn't outspeed me, and I do have a decent amount of speed in my Dragonite. It's meant like almost max HP and then 200 speed, I want to say. And this is a Combine Mega Latias, which is not bad at all. This is actually a phenomenal Pokemon. But I don't want to fuck around and go for Knockoff instead of Sucker Punch, even if he wants to set up more, because they tend to carry HP Fighting, and I'm not trying to get annihilated by that set anytime soon. I actually do switch in my Venusaur here as Death Fodder, as he, I think, makes... I mean, I don't know why he does this, really. He goes for Taunt here on my Synthesis, which shows me he's fast because I have 211 speed Venusaur, which means he has to be running quite a bit of speed on this Heatran. It might be like Timid Max with max HP or something. As you'll see, my Bisharp's low kick does a decent chunk to it later on. And now I do end up sacking my Venusaur here. I was just leaving it in as death fodder, and I thought, you know, he might predict me to go into my Heatran on his Heatran, so we'll go into Azu. And that does end up happening, so that means I know that his Heatran most likely does not have Earth Power. I can go into my Heatran here, and I really wanted, I mean, I have no reason to Earth Power, because he kind of showed me, essentially, that he didn't have it earlier. And, because he, what am I saying? He didn't go for it. So I want to go for Taunt, so I can taunt his Latias if he wanted to switch it in. As I do go for Earth Power here, just in case. I'm playing it safe, because I think, at this point, it's safe to say if I weaken his Heatran, then I do win with my Bisharp, so... His Heatran's not a huge deal, because I do have my Dragonite, which can most likely roost up, except I'm not sure if I'll be able to outspeed it or not. And I have my Heatran, which he's proven to me, essentially, that he cannot touch it with his Heatran. And now he makes a bit of a misplay here, in my opinion, by switching into Heatran after he Reflect typed. I think he definitely could have played that a little smarter. I think he should have sacked Weavile earlier on, and so it wouldn't be in Sucker Punch range with my Bisharp, and I don't know, I just feel like he's just not playing great, but he was pulling a bunch of useless doubles, in my opinion. Like, he's switching to Azumarill. Like, he has no need to predict at that point, because I believe, like, after the first part of the match, he was just at such an advantage, it was almost impossible for me to win. As I know he's going to be able to not kill me with low kick, so I can stay in and just go for the Lava Plume. If nothing else, I could have revenge killed with my Bisharp, as it would have died to either Sucker Punch or Ice Shard plus Life Orb Recoil would have killed him. Now, I don't want him to Reflect type my Heatran, or else I'm not sure how much my low kick is going to be doing to it, so I want to make sure that it's 4 times effective against this Latias. And the reason I keep switching this Bisharp in so, like, willy-nilly against this Latias is because I know that I am AV with decent bulk investment, so I will be able to live any attack he wants to throw at me, especially because he is most likely physically offensive. And that's going to be the game. You know, I thought I lost that, and all he had to do was play pretty basic. So that's a lesson. Just when you have the upper hand, there's no reason to make really crazy plays like that. And I think this video was a good example of that. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, give it a thumb up, give it a thumb up the butt, leave a comment on what you guys want to see next time, and I'll catch you later. Peace.